Last week we talked about the physical elements of landscape design. This week we're back with landscape architect Robert Milani from Chalet Landscaping to talk about plant life and how you incorporate that specifically into this design. What's a softscape?
Softscapes are anything like plant material, trees, shrubs, perennials, annual flowers. Softscapes are there to soften hardscapes and use in many, many different ways in landscapes.
What is the focal point in the design and where does it go?
Well, focal points could be a lot of different things. It could be a sculpture, it could be a water feature, it could be anything. In this case, the focal point here is this American yellowwood located in the center island. The yellowwood has a white flower that's fragrant, has a beautiful shape to it, architecturally clean and concise, and easy to adapt to those kinds of conditions.
I've heard the term balance a lot when referring to architectural landscaping. What is that?
And one way to do that is to define evergreen versus deciduous. The darker colored trees are evergreen bushes and trees, and you can see how they move around the property, and there's a beginning and end to that. And if you have more one than the other, it offsets that balance. Repetition is either a plant or a flower or something in the landscape that's seen in more than one area. In this case, when you look at the plan, we have these multicolored areas which are flowers. And as you drive up the driveway and throughout the landscape, you see these spots of color throughout. And from a big point of view, it creates this nice, beautiful Monet type of landscape. We should not, as designers or landscape architects, try to put a full sun plant in a shady condition like this front woodland area. This is all shade to part shade, so we want to use plant materials such as serviceberry, hydrangea, spireas, witch hazels. All these plants can tolerate some sorts of shade and are perfect for this kinds of condition.
And what is movement?
Well, movement can be done in many different ways. You can use plant material for movement. You can cluster groupings of plants together throughout the landscape. That draws your eye around the landscape, as well as these curved bed lines. A curved bed line is dramatic. It draws your eye from one area to the other.
When it comes to the sticky topic of pricing, is there a general rule of thumb?
I always tell people before this process even starts, we figure that with the property and the house value, figuring 10 to 20% of that value should go towards landscaping. Landscaping includes any hardscape material, driveways, patios, sidewalks, including irrigation, landscape lighting, plant material, anything that's exterior that kind of creates that landscape is all included.
What an amazing design. Everything came together perfectly, and I really learned a lot too. So, Robert, thank you very much for joining us. And if you want to hire a landscape architect or tackle the project on your own, the basic elements are always the same. And remember, good planning makes for great results.